You are listening to Confessions of a Counselor podcast. Here we will talk all things mental health in bite-sized chunks. Hello and welcome back to Confessions of a Counselor, your mental health podcast in bite-sized chunks. I'm your host, Janice, and today is the last episode of the season. So I thought we would answer one final question, which is, how do I know if therapy is working? How do I know if it is effective? So let's jump right in. I think this is a really important question and one that I'm excited to dive into as our last question for the season, and exploring, how do I know if therapy is working? How do I know if it's helping? How do I know if I'm doing it right? Or how do I know what change is supposed to be happening? So I think looking at the overall picture is really, really important when it comes to figuring out, is therapy working? So as I always tell my clients, I would love to say that the hour that we spend in therapy together is going to change your life. This therapeutic experience in the therapy session is going to be the thing that changes your life. It's not going to be the thing that changes your life. What's going to change your life is taking what we do inside of therapy and bringing it to our outside world, bringing it to our life where we are living, where we are practicing, where we are being. And so I think it's really important to know if therapy is effective rather than to look at the therapeutic session. I want to look at the external world. I want to look at, how is my life different now that I've started therapy? How am I thinking differently? How am I behaving differently? How am I showing up for myself differently? How am I advocating for myself or for the people around me differently? What have I learned about myself? The effectiveness of therapy is not in its practice, it's in its result, because I'm able to show up and talk about what's going on in my life. I know therapy is effective and that it's working because I'm changing the way that I'm showing up. I know therapy is effective because I'm leaving session feeling like I have something that I can think about or do differently, or I've learned something about myself or the world around me. Therapy is effective, or it is working as a tool in my life. So it's not a be all end all. It's not a catch all in terms of its work, but is this tool working to help me change in a way that I want to? Is this tool working in a way that allows me to reflect differently? Is it effective in that it allows me to think differently? So therapy is this process of introspection, is going in and being able to look at my internal world differently and then show up differently in my external world. So therapy allows the space to go in and reflect and have time to sit there in a safe space. And then therapy is effective when I'm able to take that reflection and place it in my outside world and then show up differently, do things differently, learn about myself, learn about how I'm showing up, and start to create change in that way, in very small, meaningful, powerful ways. So therapy isn't going to be effective in one session because it takes time. We need to give ourselves time to come in, build a relationship, feel safe, explore what's going on, and then start to see the change and then start to feel the impact of how therapy is working. So I always say, let's take our time. Let's get to know what's going on. Let's learn about ourselves. The more that we share in therapy, the more effective we can be in changing our outside world. But the biggest piece is, can I reflect? Can I learn about myself in the therapy session so that I can do something differently in my external world? Therapy is really cool. Therapy is really helpful. We know that therapy is working when I start to show up differently, when I start to feel differently, when I start to think differently. And that takes time. And that takes a good therapeutic relationship. So I think reflecting on what has changed, what is different, can really help us determine the answer to, is therapy working for me? Okay, until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Confessions of a Counselor podcast is available anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts, on Apple and Android. New episodes are released every Friday. If you enjoyed today's episode, please join the conversation. Leave a review or subscribe to the podcast hosted on Spotify. You can find all these details on janicelyons.com. Until next time, take care.